Welcome back to Lariat TV News. Parking services is still experiencing issues and students are speaking out. I'm Claire Marie Scott.
And I'm Irma Peña. This week we give you an inside look into Baylor's new strategic plan.
Baylor announced its new strategic plan to last until 2030 called Baylor in Deeds. LTVN's Lauren Holcomb tells us what this means for the university's future.
Baylor in Deeds is focused on the global impact that Baylor can have, not only on campus, but once students go out in the world as well. Following its predecessor, Illuminate, Baylor's new strategic plan, Baylor in Deeds, was created to answer one central question.
What does the world most need Baylor to do?
Leaders created this plan to emphasize the importance of training Christian students to help solve world concerns. After over 100 years, they even changed the Baylor motto.
It is now pro ecclesia, pro texana, pro mundo, for the church, for Texas, for the world.
The key to the plan's success is the individual contribution each department adds to enrich its students and staff in research and in faith.
Our schools, colleges, divisions are writing plans that align with the university strategic plan. In other words, they're explicitly stating this is how we're going to contribute to the plan.
Overall, Baylor in Deeds wants to equip the Baylor family to flourish as people and dive into the heart behind the why.
We're putting a particular flag in the ground around this idea of civil discourse, how we can be able to talk to each other and bridge deep differences, working towards common ground for the common good.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Lauren Holcomb.
Many students received a pass for the 7th and James slot, but then had them revoked due to overbooking. These students can take the free Farrell Sender bus, but for those like Molly Hemphill, it's not as easy as it sounds.
I have a class at 7:35 a.m. and the buses don't start till 7:30, so I can't take the bus, so I have to walk. When I take the bus from Farrell, since there's so many people having to park there, the buses fill up, and sometimes the buses are late.
Baylor Parking Services says they have taken measures to accommodate these students who experience issues. They predict parking issues will smooth out as the semester progresses.
This week, the Baylor Student Government, Baylor Ambassadors, and Black Student Union held a registration initiative for students. These were held at various locations around campus. If you still aren't registered, they'll be hosting another event on October 7th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. October 7th is the last day to register to vote in Texas.
The Counseling Center offers walk-ins and appointments, or you can call the telehealth line available 24/7. Baylor Counseling also provides training to become mental health allies, where they teach how to identify signs if someone is in distress.
Really, we encourage you to come in. I know sometimes it can feel like you're the only one going through these things, but that's why we're here.
You can also reach out by calling or texting the Suicide Prevention and Crisis Line at 988.
Being a full-time student is challenging enough, but many serve on the Panhellenic Executive Board. LTVN's Gracie Savage has the behind-the-scenes story.
I'm here in front of Stacy Riddle, where Panhellenic Exec meets every Wednesday to discuss all things Greek life, all things recruitment, and ways to improve student life here at Baylor. Check out how they balance everything.
It's a lot, for sure. I'm active in the Panhellenic community as well as my own chapter. I'm a sing chair as well, so I'm really using my Google Calendar to its fullest.
The Panhellenic Executive Board is working around the clock to get things ready for the upcoming recruitment season. They have to balance difficult classes on top of leading the Panhellenic community through the semester, but the board said they love it.
It's definitely busy, but I absolutely love being busy. I have loved being on Panhellenic, number one, because it's made me branch out and just meet new people in new chapters, and also just being able to help others.
Over the past year, they have gotten closer than they ever imagined, and in the midst of all the chaos, they make time to have fun with each other.
We get along so well. It's been so fun. We all represent all 9 chapters here at Baylor, and so I've been really able to work with these women. The recruitment team especially, we're really close, and it makes just the experience so much better.
The executive board has to disaffiliate from their own chapter in order to serve others. It sounds like it'd be a challenge, but they said that the work they do for the Panhellenic community makes it all worth it.
And I just fell in love with working with all of the 9 chapters and stepping outside of my own chapter and seeing how great everyone else is and how differently we all work, but we're working towards basically the same goal.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Gracie Savage.
In preparation of election season, Baylor hosted a lecture focusing on the U.S. Constitution. Maya Duloc has the story.
In celebration of National Constitution Day, Dr. Derek Muller from the Notre Dame School of Law lectures Baylor students about the fundamentals of the U.S. Constitution. Political science students had the opportunity to learn more about the Constitution from the perspective of an experienced law professor.
It's always good to learn and dive deeper into what I'm interested in, and then just see a point of view from a law professor.
Students appreciated the topics Dr. Derek Muller focused his lecture on, including the executive branch and the role of the Electoral College.
He went into detail about just like how the government works and the branches, and he specifically focused on the executive branch and its roles in that, and I think that that's something that we don't talk a lot about in class.
After the lecture, students reflected on the unnoticed flaws of the Constitution and how this impacts every election locally and nationally.
Very interesting that even though we have a really amazing constitution, there are still things that are wrong with it or need to be adjusted.
Other students were excited to hear what Dr. Muller had to say about these flaws and better their understanding of the U.S. Constitution overall.
I think it's going to continue to help me get deeper into my understanding and thoughts of what I think political science is.
In the midst of the 2024 presidential race, Dr. Muller's lecture couldn't have come at a better time, as students are looking for more insight heading into this election season. For Lariat TV News, I'm Maya Duloc.
Next, we give you an inside look into how Baylor is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
And the Baylor Marina like you've never seen it before. Stay tuned.
I'll never get used to this. I'll never get used to this. This is how I wanna live. Forever we'll be singing like, oh, I'll never get used to this. I'll never get used to this. I'll never get used to this. This is how I wanna live. This is how I wanna live. Forever we'll be singing like, oh, I'll never get used to this.
Since 2017, La Puerta has been a home away from home for the Hispanic community in Waco, and Baylor students are lending a helping hand. Irma Pina gives you the details.
La Puerta is a Waco ministry that opens the door to the Hispanic community to get the help they need. They offer different courses, including English as a second language, life skill workshops, and citizenship classes.
We know that it's difficult for someone adjusting not only in Waco but also in the U.S. There are difficult steps to take in order to open doors.
Baylor students often volunteer at La Puerta, helping students reach their full potential.
By having volunteers from Baylor come here to La Puerta, students really break that stage fright, you could call it, and they become more confident in their abilities.
They also help by giving back to the Waco community.
And just make Waco itself a better place for us, not just keeping everything in the Baylor bubble, but rather being part of the community that we've come into.
If you're looking for volunteering options, you can come to their office or visit their website at lapuertawaco.com. For Lariat TV News, I'm Irma Peña. When there's a full moon, some Baylor students head down to the marina for a special event that only happens once a month. Claire Goodyear shows you what's afloat.
Once a month, when the full moon rises, kayaks go out on the Brazos River. Led by the Outdoor Adventure LLC, it's the Full Moon Float.
We have them every full moon during the semester. It's just to gather all of us students. Anybody can come and just kick some kayaks or just hang out, eat s'mores, that kind of stuff.
And you don't have to be an outdoor specialist or kayaking expert to join in.
I think it's definitely the most approachable of the special events that we have at the marina. We don't need any experience to show up and do this. We provide all of the equipment for totally free. And our staff are trained on how to teach you how to kayak, so if you've never done it before, that is totally fine.
Having the chance to float past McLean Stadium on a moonlit Brazos River is enough convincing to get a crowd to the marina.
We ran out of boats about 2 minutes ago, so that's kind of funny.
The float takes place at the Pullen Family Marina, and it's the one time per month that it's open past its usual hours, well into the night.
We're only open till sunset. I just think it's a cool thing they can do where there's like light coming in from the moon.
So if you want the chance to float past some Baylor buildings under the light of the full moon, make sure to put the moon cycle in your calendar. For Lariat TV News, I'm Claire Goodyear.
In the past 2 weeks, not one but 2 fires have occurred at Brooks Flats, and students are concerned. Last weekend, an electrical fire caused by the 3rd floor air conditioning filled the halls of Brooks Flats with smoke. Shortly after the fire alarms were set off, the Waco Fire Department and Baylor PD appeared at the scene. Most residents evacuated due to the fumes. However, since it was midnight, some students slept through the event. The previous fire was a result of a taco night where the accidental burning of taco meat set the smoke alarms off. Both fires caused minimal damage and no one was injured, but some students felt the effects long after the fire was extinguished.
Smoke's everywhere on the 3rd floor, and you can literally, one second after you enter that door, you can smell it. Like, it's some real poison up there. I stayed up there for 2 minutes, I still can't stop coughing.
Hispanic Heritage Month has kicked off this week, and Better Together BU paired up with the Hispanic Student Association to host their monthly neighbor nights. Marisa Moniz has the details.
Each month, Better Together BU hosts a neighbor night to celebrate different cultures at Baylor.
We try to coordinate the multicultural org with a broader event that's happening, either a national event, a holiday, or some type of cultural observation.
This month, Hispanic Student Association and Better Together welcomed everyone to embrace the Hispanic heritage. Students and staff enjoyed tamales and paletas while listening to Dr. Felipe Hinojosa. Students were touched by his message, and for some, it even hit home.
I think it really showed kind of the struggles that we've gone through and why Hispanic Heritage Month is such an important month for us.
Better Together and HSA hope to make students feel at home and build community.
I really hope that everyone here at Baylor gets a chance to feel included and they get a little bit of taste of our culture, whether it's being away from home or just feeling alone. I really hope they get to interact and build that connection.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Marisa Moniz.
Safety is important when it comes to rock climbing, so the Slick hosted belay clinics so bears aren't left hanging by a thread. The clinics were hosted throughout the week where they taught skills on how to properly belay at the Baylor Rock. Belaying is where a climber is secured by a rope that is controlled by the person on the ground. The Rock staff wants people to know that climbing is a sport for everyone.
It's a sport just like any other sport. You can get invested in it or you can just have casual fun. I think if you're interested, you should just try it out and see what's for you and what's not for you.
If you're interested, check out the Baylor Campus Recreation website for more information. Coming up, everything you need to know ahead of football's bout with Colorado.
An equestrian saddles up for its fall slate. Keep it here.
Waco is growing, and the Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo, presented by ATV, is growing with it. Mark your calendars for Thursday, October 3rd through Sunday, October 13th. Don't miss thrilling fair rides, rowdy rodeo action, 8 nights of live music on the Ziegenbach Music Stage, shopping, and fun for the whole family at the Extraco Event Center. For ticket information and to see a full list of events, visit hotfair.com. The Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo is an experience that you don't want to miss. We'll see you there.
This weekend, Baylor football is traveling to Boulder, Colorado to play Coach Prime in prime time. Bears coming off a dominant 31-3 victory over Air Force and looking to continue their good run of form. Last week, Colorado beat their rivals Colorado State 28-9, and Heisman hopeful Travis Hunter had another standout two-way performance. This is the 17th meeting between the two teams, with the last being in 2010 when the Bears won 31-25.
The challenges they present is all of their skill guys are NFL talent. I mean, you look inside and out, any of those guys can really go to the league. Quarterbacks, great quarterback, a lot of respect for them. And even offensively, a lot of people like to talk about their O-line, but I think for an O-line, they're very athletic. So, we got to be good with our feet and get into the backfield.
The game is set for 7 p.m. and fans can watch it on Fox. Baylor football got their second win of the season last week. However, a new face was under center. Aiden Pham has the story.
Redshirt junior quarterback Sawyer Robertson made his first start of the season Saturday due to DeQuan Finn suffering a shoulder injury the prior week. Sawyer led the Baylor offense to a dominant second-half performance against Air Force in a 31-3 win.
Sawyer came in and performed really well.
I thought that there was poise with him. At times in camp and all of it, that the rush has kind of gotten in his face, and he was getting the ball out prior to all that happening.
Robertson, who started 4 games at quarterback for the Bears last year, competed for the starting job throughout spring and over summer with transfer quarterback Daquan Finn. A few weeks prior to the season opener, head coach Dave Aranda named Finn the starter.
I'm a firm believer in competition breeds excellence, and DQ is awesome to have around because I know I'm becoming a better quarterback. Just learning from him, watching him.
As a transfer from Mississippi State, Sawyer's collegiate career has not always gone as planned. However, he sees his struggles as just one step in a long journey.
I think failure is important, and especially in a day and age where everything is instant success. That's what everybody wants, to kind of go through some trials and tribulations and come out on the other side better. Just put your head down.
Against Air Force, Robertson was 18 for 24, throwing for 248 yards with 1 rushing touchdown. The Bears will look to improve to 3-1 Saturday as they take on Colorado at Folsom Field. For Lariat TV News, I'm Aiden Pham.
Before the Air Force game, an important figure in the college football world took time to talk to the media.
Since 2014, the College Football Playoff Committee has been charged with determining the 4 best teams in the sport. This year, that number is growing to include 12 potential teams, and despite that increase in number, CFP Executive Director Rich Clark still thinks there could be mass public outcry come December.
Except that, here's the thing. People think that, there won't be any controversy. Guess again, right? So I think there's just different points where people, maybe a team didn't get picked as the top 5 champion, one of the top 5 champions. There's going to be some consternation there.
Last season, the committee made a controversial choice, leaving out 13-0 Florida State and admitting 12-1 teams Texas and Alabama.
And I was sitting in the room. I wasn't a voting member. I was just observing. The committee went through the rigors on that, and they knew they were making a decision that was going to be tough and that people were going to, have issues with, but they knew also that they had a job to do and they needed to do it the right way. In the end, I think they made the right decision.
The committee is comprised of 13 individuals, with 12 of them being former players, coaches, or current athletics directors, with Baylor's current AD, Mack Rhodes, being one of the newer members.
And he brings that sort of knowledge to it, but he's also just a good guy. He's good to be around. He brings, a good energy to the whole team, and I just think he's going to be a great addition. I know he's going to be a great addition. He already is. So I'm excited to have him on there.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Braden Murray.
Number 20 volleyball couldn't keep up with 8th-ranked Texas on Wednesday night, falling in 3 sets. Set 1 was a quick one with the Longhorns downing the Bears 25-17, but the Bears put up more of a fight in set 2, leading the Longhorns with 16 kills. However, that wasn't enough as Texas won the second set 25-23. The Bears led set 3 by 5 points multiple times, but the Texas defense held strong when it mattered most, sealing the last set at 26-24. Not all of Wednesday night was bad, though, with Lauren Briseño earning her 70th career ace and Alicia Andrew and Manuela B. Benbay each recording 3 blocks.
Still got to serve tougher, better. Again, kind of like the theme when I get in the locker room is just playing on the edge a little bit more. Hey, we had some tough serves. We served up an ace. Grace came in, got a block. So those things need to be contagious for us there.
The Bears will be back in the Farrell Center Saturday evening to take on Hawaii. Baylor Equestrian begins the 2024 season this week with the Green and Gold Scrimmage. The Bears will look to rebound after finishing 3-11 last year. They have a group of experienced riders returning, along with the addition of some new faces. The Green and Gold Scrimmage will be the first look at the team in preparation for the regular season.
Last year stings a little bit, right, in a really positive way, and so they're just using it to motivate them. But our internal team dynamic is truly the best that it's been, and so we're capitalizing off of that, and I think it's just going to be a really cool, really special year for them.
The first meet will be on October 10th when the Bears welcome TCU. For now, that wraps up sports. But stay tuned for the latest coverage of Baylor at Colorado. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Braden. And it's not just sports. We'll bring you the news you need to know around campus and Waco.
Until we see you again, have a great week. And as always, sic 'em Bears.